Racism, hazing, and sexual harassment accusations against the Sacramento Fire Department. This is a story KCRA3 Investigates Brittany Johnson has been looking into for months. And tonight she exclusively spoke with the fire chief and other firefighters who've been coming forward to share their stories.
It was lonely. It was a lonely experience.
Shannon Panamino, a firefighter and paramedic with the Sacramento Fire Department for 17 years, retiring in 2017. Panamino says hazing and discrimination were part of the SFD culture.
He was a big jokester, but he liked to do things like he would put adult sex toys in my bed. He would put high school pictures of himself in my bed. He put adult sex toys in my boots, in my turnout coat. At the dinner table, he liked to provoke conversations. Like if we were going to make a Sacramento City Fire Department calendar of all the females, what month would Shannon be? And singled me out that way.
Captain James Butler has been with the department for 26 years. For him, the issue was the lack of diversity in gender and in race. Part of multiple committees, recruiting teams, and hiring boards, Butler says he's done everything he can do to add diversity to staff.
I've done everything within the system to try and bring about change, and nothing's happened.
A 2016 audit found 71% of the fire department was white, 11% Hispanic, 2% Filipino, 4% Black, 5% Asian, and 2% American Indian. At the same time, only 10% fire personnel were female. Butler says back in 2016, the Diversity Advisory Board submitted 6 recommendations to the City Council to help improve diversity.
The City Council makes a mandate such as to come up with these a plan, and we do, and it doesn't get funded. So at some point you got to say, hey, there's a problem. We do what you ask us to do, but we don't get the financial support for it.
Butler says diversity divide has only gotten worse. As of 2020, just 3% of the department's 657 employees are Black and still made up of 10% females. I met with Sacramento Fire Chief Gary Loesch this morning to talk about the allegations and what the department is doing to address those concerns.
That is part of the culture that obviously I've been working to remove, but obviously I have a lot more work to do.
Loesch took over in 2018 and says he can't speak to instances that weren't under his watch, but he told me he is aware of the current climate, allegations of discrimination and concern over diversity, and he's working to help bring about solutions.
Well, obviously, any allegations are concerning. I've made it clear since I've taken this position here in Sacramento that discrimination, any type of harassment, would not be tolerated. And I've tried and done my best to make that culture here in the department. Everything from an open door policy with myself and my members of my executives team, all the way through down to the newest firefighter.
In Sacramento, Brittany Johnson, KCRA3 News.
KCRA3 investigation into the Sacramento Fire Department. Earlier this month, we introduced you to firefighters who say they faced gender discrimination and shed a light on the department's lack of diversity. In 2016, the department came up with a plan of action to make the department better reflect the city it serves.
As KCRA3 investigates, Brittany Johnson found out the plan never made it to the city council, even though the council repeatedly expressed its desires to help improve the department.
After a series of complaints from former and current fire department personnel, the Sacramento Fire Department created a diversity advisory board to draw up plans to address the lack of gender and ethnicity diversity among its ranks. That plan was to be placed in the hands of the city council to take action. At the time, the city council made it very clear they weren't happy with the makeup of the fire department and wanted to see change, asking then Chief Walt White to come up with a budget and programs that could be implemented to help Sacramento Fire reflect the city it serves.
What I heard this council say was a mandate on diversification.
In May 2016, the city council asked for a city audit focusing on police and fire departments.
Good evening.
KCRA3 Investigates listened to every city council meeting after the audit request to follow the process and find out what happened to the audit and those recommendations from the Sacramento City Fire Department. Here's a recap of discussions from 2016 to 2018.
Do you have the wherewithal within this budget to implement the program that you would like to implement to give us the diversity that we're looking for?
and we should have it soon. It'll be part of a component of the 5-year master plan that I was directed by the mayor to develop this year.
August 2016, the city auditor's audit findings of the city's gender and ethnic diversity of the fire department were released. It found a lack of diversity within the department.
If we look at the total command staff, those percentages reflect the following distribution. 2% for American Indian, 5% for Asian, 4% for Black, 1% for Filipino, 9% Hispanic, 0% not specified, and 79% white.
Public agency can be successful unless it reflects the city, the people that they are serving. What I would like from the city manager is a report back on what actions we're going to take to get on a glide path of reflecting the community.
1 year later, the firefighters union expressed concern over lack of action.
Things are not getting done in our fire department. We still don't have that master plan from the fire department. So we need help.
Last fall, you came to us with a master plan proposal, but I don't think we've gotten the final master plan back.
Our hopes are to deliver a draft of that master plan to the city manager prior to the end of the month.
And you expect it to come back here sometime in the summer, or do you think fall?
It'll go to the city manager in draft form, and then it'll be his call from there.
And that's where everything stops. KCRA 3 Investigates found these recommendations were part of Chief White's overall master plan, where he asked for money to help develop the department's diversity recruitment and address other issues. The plan was given to the city manager, but never made it out of draft form, meaning these recommendations never saw the light of day. Why is that? We took that question to Mayor Steinberg, who took office in December 2016.
As I understand it, the former fire chief and the former city manager came up with a set of informal recommendations. And they were informal recommendations. They left, and the recommendations never came to my office or to the city council.
Mayor Steinberg told us that instead of figuring out why nothing has been done about these recommendations for the last 5 years,
I want to recommend with the city manager over the course of the next weeks and months is that we use our FY22 budget, which is coming up in these next couple of months. The fact that we're getting an enormous amount of stimulus money, the combination, we have the resources now to really beef up our outreach and our diversity efforts with the fire department.
You know, I'm taking calls from multiple firefighters since, before the story and after, with them telling me their stories, their allegations against the fire department, and saying nothing is going to be done. This is all talk.
It is not all talk. First of all, I take anybody who complains about discrimination or harassment, we take those allegations very seriously.
In a statement to KCRA 3, Sacramento Fire Chief Gary Loesch wrote, "We appreciate the mayor's commitment and look forward to working with him and all city leaders to expand our recruitment and diversity efforts." Roberto Padilla, spokesperson with Sacramento Firefighters Local 522, the union representing the Sacramento Fire Department, says he has, quote, very little faith the city council will take significant action.
We have agreed with things in the past, nothing gets implemented. It's always talk, it's always kicking the can down the road, and it's always let's form committees. We're tired of committees, we want solutions.
Padilla adds the need for money, which the union has requested for years from the city council, goes beyond addressing diversity.
And we need fire stations, we need additional resources. We're operating with antiquated models of response. The workload has increased. Some fire stations are running 100% more calls than they did just a few years ago. We have a homeless crisis. The pandemic showed how important public safety is.
Reporting in Sacramento, Brittany Johnson, KCRA 3 News.